Oh. You said yo, bro. Oh my god. Nah, that nigga said, so what's up? Boom! Drop kick the.
Yo, welcome back to some casual geographic. You know what I'm saying? Today we got a special video.
Top 10 animals with black Air Force energy. You know what I'm saying?
I already like that title, bro.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me of CJ the Champ.
Ooh.
Anime moments when they got black Air Force energy.
Yeah.
But now it's animals. And I love learning about animals, bro. When we watched the coyote one, I was like, bro.
They'll get it done.
Yo, you know, and then the raven and the wolf. How the raven is a UAV, and then the wolf follows in and knows, and it's like
be snitching.
Don't mess with ravens though. You know? I heard they also like remember like your face, like they can recognize you. So if you mess with a raven, they will know you. So they will violate.
They same thing. Yeah, they will like call their clique too.
You know, if they like twirl around or something, it means something. Whatever.
That means Itachi spot, man.
Yeah, Itachi. Oh yeah. That's why I like ravens. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, bro. Just learning about animals, bro. Like it's so lit.
Trying to get some knowledge on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Shout out to Casual Geographic.
Yes.
Link to the original video down below. Go check it out. I'm actually like really looking forward to this one. He actually uploaded another one because you know we kind of behind.
Wait, another black Air Force energy?
Nah, the other one's something about dolphins. We'll watch that too.
Okay.
I like dolphins too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're nice, but they can definitely kill your ass too.
Yeah.
That's it, let's go.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Damn.
Beans. Oh!
Broke the whole gate.
He said, look, he's looking at him
You like, yeah. I'm like that. Yeah.
Oh my god. He said, yo, bro, you good, bro?
Black Air Force energy.
Yeah.
Good old Urban Dictionary defines it as a person or an object that has insane potential and is crazy enough to deal with anything without fear or hesitation, regardless of moral alignment.
Bro, look at the examples. Toyota Supra 2JZ engine.
What the?
That shit. Hey, stop playing with me.
Oh shit.
Look, I also got a Lego one.
Damn, what the f?
Yeah, I got.
When you made that, nigga?
Oh, my girl got it for me for my birthday, and we put it together. See, it looks like it's nothing, but inside there's very small, intricate parts.
Yeah, I could tell.
So it took us about 45 minutes to make this, but hey, got this nice little Supra.
That's fine.
Now hold up, I got this one, then this one, and then outside, later in the future, we gonna get an actual one.
Have an actual one in this. Yup.
Stop playing with me.
You know what I said?
Then we got Escanor.
Yeah, that nigga different. When that sun come up, over with.
Stupid. Lockheed Martin F-22A Raptor.
Is that a ball?
I don't know what that is, but the only Raptor I know is the Ford Raptor.
Oh god, that's what I'm thinking.
Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII.
Okay.
And Rebby from Black Lagoon.
Oh yeah.
Yo, see the chat, that's what we're talking about.
Regardless of moral alignment, including its own rivals or competitors. And despite clearly taking grammar lessons from NBA YoungBoy, I'd say whoever wrote that was pretty on point. It's a term I use a lot in my videos without really explaining exactly what it is. So here's a full list of the top 10 animals with the most black Air Force.
Damn!
These are an obvious pick, others might just surprise you. But they've all earned their spot, including the animal at number 10, which might have the least clout of any animal on this list. That's only because it's found one place in the world. Because if this bird were airdropped across the globe, it'd definitely be more known for all the wrong reasons.
Oh.
Hey, it made it.
Starting off is what happens when an animal is too smart for everyone else's quality of life. The Kia is a large parrot that can be found terrorizing the people of New Zealand. Don't let it fool you. This black Air Force with a Grinch colorway is an op in every way. They're highly intelligent and armed with a hook-shaped which is the perfect tool for Kia to inflate insurance by picking apart cars.
What?
Kia is smart enough to associate people and the cars we drive with food, which is why this anti-mechanic is famous for committing the cutest carjackings you'll ever see. Of course, they don't just stop at cars. This feather felon will go through purses, backpacks, duffel bags, and swipe anything they can fly away with. There was even a case where this airborne pirate stole the passport of a Scottish man that didn't want to be identified. To be remembered for getting denied from your home country because you got your passport pickpocketed by a panhandling parrot. It happened to him and it can happen to you, but guess what? If you happen to get your wallet snatched and try to see the Kia about it, be prepared to also eat a several $1,000 fine and even jail time.
Damn! Wait. So you can't hurt them, you gonna go to jail for
So hold on, if they rob you, you can't do anything about it, because then you going to jail.
I don't give a damn.
How you get robbed and then you still...
They ain't finding me. I'm throwing a rock at that nigga head.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy.
Are protected by the government because it only makes sense that something with wings would be above the law. And it's almost like every Kia knows it and acts accordingly. But it's not just humans getting griefed. Kias will regularly raid other birds' nests and make omelets with their unborn children.
Okay, that
and they'll use that Swiss Army knife of a nose to remove parts of a living sheep to eat. And there have been reports of them victimizing dogs and even horses. But at least the Kia isn't a legitimate physical threat to people. The next animal's responsible for putting more zookeepers on workers' comp than any other animal.
Wow. And that was only number 10.
Nah.
The African wilderness has some of the most ways to F around and find out per square mile in the world. So it makes sense that living in the most dangerous area codes in the world has turned the zebra into an actual psychopath. This oppressed Oreo horse has the strongest kick in the animal kingdom. From Marty to out of the sequel. Which is why, even though lions body them often, every once in a while a lion has to explain to his ancestors how he got flatlined by a high-strung or quality donkey.
Yo, he let them stun in person.
Constantly hunted means the zebra will often one-shot something too close to it. There's two reasons why you won't see a person riding a zebra. One, they're too small. And two, every zebra is fundamentally a bastard to its core.
Okay, you know what I heard? I always thought that zebras were white and they had black spots.
Oh, okay, I get it.
But they're black and they have white spots.
Reversed.
Yeah. I went to a farm and I saw camels too. I've never seen camels, bro. Camels are...
Wait, you was a farm that had zebras, nigga?
Yeah, zebras, giraffes, camels in New York, bro. I said,
Wait. What?
Yeah, it was over there. It was like a 30-minute drive. I've never seen a camel in my life. And I'm like, what is this doing here?
What the Yeah, so that should be what the Dubai niggas. What the
Yeah, bro.
One, they're too small. And two, every zebra is fundamentally a bastard to its core. No, like literally. Because many mother zebras will actually mate with as many males as possible. Because if she's showing and he suspects it's not hers, he'll violently press her until it's terminated. And if the baby's already out, that's just an invitation for him to demote her from mother to boy.
He's trying to drown the
Going
kid?
back to humans, zebras are infamous for allegedly putting as many Zeus They may look like horses whose favorite part of a birthday is the finger painting station, but this panda pony's liable to paint the block with their insides if you breathe at them the wrong way. Be one like a barnyard animal and negotiate your left hand. And because zebras are genetically closer to donkeys than horses, calling it the ass of Africa is a scientifically accurate title. And as the default protein of many of the landlords of the savannah, it's a title they hold with pride. Because it's the best.
He just walked out!
Speaking of titles, you ever think about how dope the title of landlord actually is? Like landlord, as in lord of the land? I'm sure it's a title that would get more respect if there weren't such zebras about it. Even though it's kind of been tainted, the title of lord used to be reserved for the elites of society, like princes, lieges, and feudal superiors. Back then, to be called a lord, you'd have to A, join the House of Lords, B, marry someone who's already a lord or lady, or C, buy land from someone who's already a lord and have the title passed down. I don't know about the first two options, but today you're still able to buy land and be referred to as a lord.
Oh my god.
But with established titles, you can actually buy
established titles.
Segue into them.
They actually hit us up too, but I didn't.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, but I didn't take it because I don't know. It kind of didn't have anything to do with us. You know.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Use the code Casual Geo for an extra 10% off. 10% off is also what you can expect if you treat this barcode horse as a petting zoo.
I see.
But at least they have the excuse of constantly being plotted on. The next animal has less excuses but more disrespect.
That was good. See, we gotta learn how to do that.
Deer managed to cause billions of dollars in damage a year by playing freeze tag with cars, and that ironically makes him the most dangerous animal in America. But where blissful ignorance makes deer a threat, the deer of Down Under initiate conflict. 9 out of 10 car accidents in Australia involve kangaroos, and a good number of them are premeditated.
He said, yo, bro, what are you following?
Assault
See, look what you trying to do. Oh!
Insurance fraud.
You said, yo, bro.
Oh my god! Nah, that nigga said, so what's up? Boom! Drop kick the. Imagine he shattered that motherfucker and then went through.
He did shatter.
No, but imagine he went through the motherfucker, kicked the nigga in the head. Oh my god.
Yo, but look how like he looked at him and said, "Oh, you want something with me?" And then
that nigga took the leap of faith. Oh my, I'd be tight. Imagine you driving your Supra, nigga, and your shit get drop kicked by a kangaroo, nigga. I'd be tight.
Why am I driving my Supra in the middle of the desert?
Nigga, I'm out, nigga, just saying. No.
Objects. But it's not just a bluff. These are some brawling.
God damn!
Claws, but more importantly, a sharp dagger of a toenail. Which is why it's not a kangaroo's punch you have to worry about, but that Jurassic pedicure disembowelment.
Damn!
Sparring session so lethal. That and the fact that kangaroos start every day with the specific goal of inconveniencing as many life forms as possible.
Yo, bro.
If you happen to fly a drone in kangaroo country, your insurance tested. In fact, it's not a stretch to say they hate anything that flies. Can you imagine how ridiculous this could have gotten? Imagine people thinking you died paragliding when really you survived.
I'd be shook.
Oh my god.
Kangaroos are number 8 because there's really no.
Look at this nigga.
You see, as dangerous as Australia is, there aren't really any dominant apex land predators. While kangaroos often contend with dingoes and the occasional wedge-tailed eagle, a full-grown kangaroo doesn't have much that can threaten it, other than a bigger kangaroo. So my working theory is,
damn,
cocky. And until nature airdrops some bears or maybe some cats, are still going to be out here thinking they can do whatever. Try to have your mind of your own.
Now that's not funny.
As outside as these malicious macropods are, they're not even the most disrespectful animal in Australia. And believe me, we'll get to that. The Big Five refers to the top 5 most dangerous animals to hunt in Africa. These include the elephant, the rhinoceros, the lion, the leopard, and an animal so feared it's been nicknamed Black Death. The African Cape buffalo is a walking attempted homicide case armed with a pair of horns to make those attempts successful. They have one of the highest KD ratios against humans with guns. In some cases, these tanks with road rage and 50% of the people they go after, and a lot of that is because they will actively seek revenge. There have been stories of one buffalo murking the same hunter that took out a member of its own herd. And whether you're a lion or a hunter, these trench cows get it back in blood.
Oh my God!
The Cape buffalo is one that's already been injured. Hunters have followed a mortally wounded buffalo into thick brush, only for the freight train with legs to circle back and ambush them from behind. Which is why the #1 rule when hunting Cape buffalo, assume you only have one shot because that's usually all you get. But it's not just humans getting bodied. Bloodlusting buffalo will seek out unsupervised lion cubs and log them out of life before they can grow up to be a threat. Not like the adults aren't at risk either. Capes will stalk and circle lone lions, using the threat of gang violence to give Mufasa a roommate. Which is how the same.
Imagine this sneaking up on you. Like, how do you not see that?
Yeah, how do you not see that big black thing, bro?
And then it's talking about how like hunters, how they'll even sneak up behind hunters. So like humans, how y'all not see, like how you injure it and then it ends up behind you?
Zero awareness. Zero awareness level.
I'm confused. These are crazy.
That can solo multiple hyenas can get sent up a tree like a house cat. They're like the Liam Neeson of animals. Wrong them and they make their life's mission to co-sign their bill. Shit with self-defense. Everything after that
Tom and Jerry.
Experienced lions can take them down. It's still very much a gamble. Especially since they can travel in herds of hundreds. That's also how they earned the nickname Widowmaker. Because right now there's at least one because her husband decided to hunt a 1-ton vibe check while the buffalo decided that would be
hold on. Let me hear this. Hold on. He said he wanted to hunt who?
That's also how they earned the nickname Widowmaker. Because right now there's at least one woman on Tinder because her husband decided to hunt a 1-ton vibe check while the buffalo decided that would be the day he'd finally live up to his nickname. It's a murderous mammal, but like the zebra, it's often just self-defense gone way too far. Not like the antics of the next animal.
Nah, shout outs to them. Oh my God.
We're talking about the Black Air Force of the sky. You're probably talking about crows. Or really just crows in general. Crows are smart enough to manipulate their environment to their advantage. But they're also devious enough to manipulate other animals for their own sadistic pleasure. I don't know what that crow said at that capital.
Oh my God.
Ravens will weaponize their relationship with wolves to call out big-tongued coyotes. Crows in Tokyo have especially become a problem where they've basically gone to war with the entire human population.
You say you look like Sasuke.
There might not be a worse time to be an owl.
Oh my God, the boy and the owl.
Surrounded by a murder of crows. Not to mention crows will often raid the nests of other birds for a disturbingly literal kids meal. And that's why they're not just straight up snatching minors in front of their parents.
Hey man.
They'll regularly mob and harass other birds until they drop the food they've already caught. And crows won't hesitate to beat on much larger birds of prey.
What?
This might explain why they do the exact same thing with humans to get them to surrender whatever calories they have on them. But the avian onslaught peaks out with the Australian magpie. Now, turns out they're not actually corvids. They actually sit closer to another bird with psychopath tendencies. Either way, Australian magpies manage to be the most feared thing in a country seasoned with crocs, cassowaries, and snakes. And while most wildlife is harmless as long as you respect their space, the earth is their space, and they have no patience.
Yo, he said this. Oh my!
Literally getting chased by it.
To protect themselves from the magpie's malicious intent.
Damn!
Especially during swooping season, where magpies will relentlessly attack anything that gets near their nest. Actual human lives have been lost to this goth Tweety's tantrums. And since corvids can remember faces, once you've been swooped, you can expect the same treatment next year. I think Tirzu said it best. Corvids are what would happen if you gave monkeys wings. But at least in the magpie's case, they're only legitimate threat to a human way of life for the roughly 6 weeks of swooping season. Next animal is one of the biggest dangers to humans all year round.
Mosquitoes?
It was really only a matter of time before the river rhino made an appearance. Widely considered the world's deadliest mammal, you may have noticed that these weren't included in the Big Five. I have to assume that's because nobody that has a desire to see the next day would actually hunt them. Arguably, no animal has a harder working PR team than a hippopotamus. First of all, it's not the goofy lard donkey it lets you think it is. A thin subcutaneous fat layer means hippos are actually walking units. And despite their awkward appearance, hippos can outpace any human over short distances, and that includes on land and in water, where they somehow become even more territorial.
Okay, now You gotta be in water.
Animals for seemingly no reason. Just when an antelope thinks it's been bailed out, the slaughter horse does origami with it.
Oh my God!
And even though they're supposed to be herbivores, every once in a while they'll give into the temptation of tasting the flesh of their victims. Cannibalism is not off the table. Science doesn't really know why exactly they do this, but science doesn't account for an animal just being a dick. Few predators will press this obese water pig. Do so at their own risk. Hippos are so carnage happy that the biggest threat to a baby hippo is a bigger, meaner bull hippo. It's how a hippo baby shower can legitimately end in a rain of flesh confetti. Now, to be fair, plenty of animals resort to infanticide. Hippos are just really mean about it. Like I said, nobody's PR team works hard, except maybe dolphins. Which makes sense, since despite resembling ungulates like warthogs and rhinos, the hippo's closest living relatives are actually cetaceans like dolphins and whales. But instead of making it out in the ocean, hippos decided to make a living griefing everything in this area code. And I didn't even mention the way they claim that area.
Oh my God! Nah, that's scary.
Yeah.
He
That is pee-pee?
He might be shit.
Ew! It's peeing too! Ew! What the f...
You know, if you unsubscribe right now, I wouldn't blame you. The only thing that can make this whale Karen more of a menace than it already is if you were a straight up predator. Or
oh my!
Then again, that would literally make...
Nah, his front hood went bang. That shit went up. Nah, I would've been tight. Nah. Now imagine that was your super.
Now, yes. Okay, that's more realistic.
Nigga, what you gonna do, nigga? You can't do shit.
I'm swept. I don't know.
You can't.
I got a whole tank in front of me. What am I do?
You can't run away either, nigga.
Oh yeah,
You gotta stay in your car.
Trust me though. If it's on land, me personally, I gotta go, bro.
How?
I'll turn to Usain Bolt, bro. I'm running at 40 miles per hour. I don't care. What crazy?
Further down this list. My personal bias was not going to keep the elephant off this list. As much as I love them, elephants can be a devastating combination of smart enough to do anything and big enough to get away from.
Damn!
Especially get themselves into trouble by raiding
It's like
villages
that,
and emptying out their rice supply. Which is why Asian elephants are responsible for the bulk of human hashtags. Especially since they can be just as vengeful as the Cape buffalo. Earlier this year, a man in Thailand had an elephant working hauling wood in the brutal heat, which is illegal. And apparently the elephant knew his rights because he proceeded to rip his boss in half.
What?
And of course, we gotta address the... I'm better than that. One elephant traveled over 100 miles to murk a 70-year-old woman collecting water. Only to pull up to her funeral to attack the soul evicted body, this time in front of her family. The biggest mystery of mankind is what motivated a 4-ton pachyderm to pack up an elderly woman twice.
Damn.
Bro, do you know what it is? Bro, he traveled 100 M's, boy. 100 miles.
That's mad work. Just a smoker, and then go to a funeral, smoker again.
She died twice.
That's all.
He's gonna tell us. Elephants rank over hippos because where hippos commit war crimes in the heat of passion, when an elephant catches a body, you can almost be certain it was premeditated. This in populations that have been fragmented by poaching, where young male elephants really fly off the handle. And bull elephants are already pretty high-strung as well, but they managed to get worse in communities decimated by poaching. To the point where 3 elephants in South Africa were responsible for deleting 63 rhinos as well as charging at people. Now to be fair, poaching typically targets older bulls, and research shows that without old heads around, younger male elephants go into must a lot sooner than they should. Which I get. What I don't get is why that has to involve turning a rhino from a tight end to a rhino. What you have to remember is that elephants are intelligent enough to experience every human emotion like compassion, empathy, and
damn!
A headline like this, you might get a headline like this. And if elephants wore shoes, they'd rock the biggest black Air Forces.
He's gonna kill that motherfucker.
That's only because the next animal on this list doesn't have legs.
Don't crush that shit. I ain't fucking with no elephant.
One of the biggest injustices of cinema is that where dolphins got cast as a lovable flipper, sharks got typecast as Jaws. Dolphins are the most disrespectful beings.
Damn!
Makes sense because they're basically intelligent.
Oh my! Yo, you know the accuracy on that?
Oh God!
Use fish heads and live eels as marinades.
Oh, that's me. My fault, bro.
It's not you. It's him.
Yeah, it's me. Some of y'all get confused. You know, I got Discord too, boy. You turn all this off. Download in progress. What am I downloading?
Some Overwatch?
Some Overwatch always updated.
Yeah, you're not wrong. They gotta fix the goddamn.
Yeah. Bro, how the game come out? I gotta wait in line for 40,000. Q.
Goddamn.
Man, that's tough.
All while letting humanity think they're the good guys. They have mating practices so brutal that I probably can't even talk about them. Just know that what dolphins like to do to each other, guidelines might try to do to me. But we can't talk about dolphins without
give me
the dolphin of all. The orca is the most dominant creature on the planet.
Bro, you see how much airtime that motherfucker had? Knocked the damn dolphin out the air.
Son, no way. No. Man, that's a whale, bro.
And imagine.
It fell in the boat or something.
Exactly. I'd be like, oh yeah, we dead. Damn. This
Bro.
I'm going out?
What?
Yo, I be tight.
Bro, that is like, no way, bro.
Off in the ball. The orca is the most dominant
Like,
ape.
why is that in the air like that? Like, why is that there, bro?
That nigga came from the bottom of the ocean, flew the fuck up, bro. Oh my God.
On a planet that isn't human. And as if sheer size and intelligence wasn't enough, they typically hunt in pods with the coordination of a wolf pack, which is how this oppressive sea Oreo regularly griefs the tankiest animals on the planet. They're such a force that great whites have been known to abandon hunting grounds for up to a year once this steroid-quality guppy makes an appearance.
Damn.
Probably because they've been known to use the shark's biology against them to rob them of their heart and liver, just to leave the rest of the shark to sink to the abyss. And then there's the fact that orcas often practice their craft with other animals.
Knock that nigga out.
If you feel bad about penguins getting bullied by seals, I suggest you see what happens when a Navy SEAL joins the Air Force. And while you could chalk this up to hunting strategy, there's also the chance that living life on recruit difficulty means orcas get bored and just start trying stuff. While it's true a wild orca is never taking out a human, that hasn't stopped them from actively messing with human vessels with disturbing regularity. It's like they know who's ruining the ocean and adjust their behavior accordingly. Either way, orcas are the humans of the sea, and anything that steps to them gets reminded expeditiously. Even moose of all things. Moral of the story, Free Willy should have been put on parole. The only thing more black Air Force than an animal that griefs everything around it would be an animal that commits atrocities against its own kind. And that's why orcas are only number 3.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, they do it to themselves?
Ask any zookeeper what animal they fear the most. If they don't say chimps, they've never worked with one. A common misconception is that chimps are 5 times stronger than the average man. And while the number is actually closer to 1.5, chimps have more fast twitch muscles, a stronger bite force, and a stronger grip force. Their ability to use tools is fascinating to watch. Until you realize that means they're able to create and move. Don't forget that chimpanzees are pack hunting predators able to execute attacks with the precision of early man. And that doesn't just apply to their prey. Chimps in Luongo National Park have been documenting attacking families of gorillas and murking any helpless offspring they can get their hands on. Literally no animal's safe from the violent tendencies of a furious George. But it's the damage they inflict against their own kind that puts them over the top. Chimp casualties often share the same injuries: a disfigured face, missing fingers if not entire hands, and a non-consensual neutering. Chimps seem to have an understanding of what's important to an animal, and they go out of their way to remove it. It's why I can show you this picture and you'll understand. And it's why instead of organ donor I have, if ever maimed by a chimp, just let me die on my drive. And it's also why you probably have a better chance of surviving being locked in a room with a lion than in a room with a chainsaw with a
damn!
A chimp can get pushed 6 feet under by members of its own troop guarantees them a spot on this list. The only way an animal could beat that is if something was enough of a menace to be a legitimate threat to itself. And that's exactly what number 1 is. But before we reveal number 1, here's some honorable mentions. The Canadian goose. For having the most irrational confidence of any animal. They actually almost went extinct, and now they revolve their entire existence around punishing humanity. Swans. Because what geese think they are, swans always have been.
But woman, move your dog.
They're more than capable of hunting for themselves, but they'd rather tax animals 3 times their size for a living. Meerkats. For being quite literally the most homicidal mammals on the planet. And now at number 1, to absolutely no one's surprise,
Honey badger.
The honey badger.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
I have an entire video dedicated to the exploits of this steroid.
We've seen that,
They'll regularly pinch food from leopards and then throw a tantrum if they get caught. They'll take on packs of animals that realistically should be able to one-shot them. But the Oreo weasel has plot armor in the form of crackhead.
He even tried to walk out.
They'll raid the hives of African bees. The same bees that are 10 times meaner and sting 10 times more than their European cousins. And honey badgers aren't immune to bee stings. They're resistant, but enough stings will flatline a honey badger. But that's a honey badger if he cares. He won't answer. You know the answer. These prison ferrets also run fades with highly venomous cobras. If they manage to get bitten, they'll just slip into a cobra-induced coma and then wake up hours later and walk it off like a Sunday morning. Imagine! Self-defense is as offensive as you can get. As in, they'll reverse their anal pouches inside out and release a smell so pungent it can allegedly paralyze attacking bees. Honestly, any animal that religiously attacks the baby makers of others is a different tier of menace. No other badger represented this better than Stoffel, who once escaped from his enclosure and picked a fight with a neighboring family of lions who nearly mauled him to death. After about 2 months in the hospital, the first thing the affiliated ferret did fresh out was go right back at the same line. Not only one of the hundreds of times Stoffel managed to raise the blood pressure of the people around him, but here's the real kicker. Stoffel was actually hand-raised by humans at a young age and therefore imprinted on them. He had no intention of ever leaving. The whole thing was just a game to him. As if blatant disrespect were a sport, they still wouldn't play it because anything involving rules goes against a honey badger's belief system. But that's going to do it for this video. For more consistent content, be sure to follow my Instagram and TikTok. I try to post daily on both. And to further support this channel, my Patreon's also going to be in the description. But also, don't feel like you have to give anything. If you watch the video this far, you've already... Other than that, drink water, hug your mother. Don't hug a honey badger. It'll never end well. I'll see you in the next one.
Yo,
Nah, that
hey,
was fire.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
That
saying?
was fire.
That video
That
was so
was fire.
good, bro.
I knew the honey badger would be no more than them motherfuckers. Devious.
Yeah, and every time we watch a video about that, like disrespectful animals, I feel like they're always on there, or they do something to somebody, and it's them.
If you like it, you like it. You can't like it, not like it. Or you can get pissed fuck up, you know what I'm saying? For the man,
Oh, you're gonna have to add both of us to the Black Air Force Energy.
Oh yeah, cause
top 10.
Really about to.
Yeah, cause if y'all, well, why you disliking the video?
Exactly.
That's weird.
You know what you can do?
There's no dislike button. Why you hating?
There is a dislike button, but you can't see the dislike, so you know what you can do. Fuck off.
Yo, stupid.
You know what I'm saying?
Bruh, come on now.
Yeah.
Make sure I drink y'all water.
I'm out. Fuck.
Oh yeah, I got a stream deck. Check this out.
Oh.
Oh.
No.
Boom, boom, I'm about to boom
Oh,
you.
God,
I'm
nigga.
about to boom you.
Mm.
And, bruh. Okay. Alright, get out of here. Stupid.